Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Chess with Arsalan. In this video we are going to see 4 games that Magnus Carlsen managed to finish up by using a very nice queen sacrifice. And the first game actually was played between Magnus Carlsen with the white pieces against Jan Nepomniachtchi in the Leuven GCT Blitz tournament in 2017. And here in this position, Magnus Carlsen played rook to b1, asking the queen that where does it want to go. So immediately after rook b to d1, Jan Nepomniachtchi actually made a very serious mistake and put his queen on h6. This position for black is actually losing, but what Jan Nepomniachtchi did caused him to lose the game by a brilliancy. Here Magnus Carlsen played queen takes f7, and black is basically forced to take that queen, and after rook to d8 check, rook to f8, and it doesn't matter which rook, but anyways, for example, rook d to f8, and the game is now over. And this is how Magnus Carlsen win game number 1. The second game is a game that was played between Magnus Carlsen with the white pieces and Wesley So with black pieces, and it was played in Goldmade Asian Rapid K chess24.com tournament. And here in this position, Magnus Carlsen played queen to c6. As you can see, black actually is having a piece for 2 pawns of white. Actually for 3, one of them is doubled, so it doesn't count that much. And here the only move for black was to play bishop to f7 and try to stop these 2 pawns in this position. But Wesley So made a very serious mistake here, and he played bishop to d7, which was met by queen takes d7, and here Wesley So resigned. But let's see why he resigned here. First of all, black cannot take on d7 because after bishop takes e5 check, and as you can see the queen is hanging. After rook takes e5, rook to d7, and this endgame is winning for white because these 2 pawns are actually passers and they will easily become a queen. So this is the first one. After queen takes d7, black actually can play rook to g8 with the idea of defending this queen, but after queen takes g7, king takes g7, bishop takes e5 check, and white is simply a piece and 1, 2, 3 pawns up, which I think it will be more than enough to win the game. And after queen takes d7, if black plays queen to g8, then after bishop takes e5 check, rook takes e5, queen to d4, pinning the rook. And after, for example, queen g5, again b5, and these 2 pawns roll down the board and eventually become the queen, and black has no way to stop these pawns. So that's why after queen takes d7, Wesley So resigned in this position. Carlsen's third victim was actually Sergei Karyakin, and this game was played in the World Chess Championship match in the tiebreak, and this was the last game of the match. So this was a deciding game, and Carlsen needed a win to finish up the match. So in this position, black played queen to f2 with the idea of blocking the queen on the f4, because if the queen moves, then queen takes h2 and this will be a checkmate. So that's why here white played rook to c8. And after king to h7, here Magnus Carlsen played the shocking move, not shocking for himself because these are very easy tactics for Magnus Carlsen, but shocking the way that he finished up the game, finished the World Chess Championship match with queen h6. And here black resigned because if king takes, then rook to h8 is checkmate. As you can see, king cannot go to the g6 because of the pawn, it cannot come to the g5 because of the rook, it cannot go back because of this rook, so this is checkmate. And after queen h6, if black plays g takes h6, then rook takes f7 is actually checkmate. The back rank is covered with the rook, so no way to go to the back rank. g6 is blocked with this pawn, and this is a checkmate. And the last game is a game that Magnus Carlsen played with the white pieces in 2006 against Laurent Frenzient, the French grandmaster, very strong grandmaster, and it was played in Cap d'Ouage, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And in this game, Magnus Carlsen actually, being in 2006, he was not actually number one in the world, and his rating was 2698, very close to 2700, but not still there yet. So here in this position, Magnus Carlsen played rook to c5, and as you can see, the b5 is under attack, the d5 is under attack, and here in response, black played knight to b4, threatening the queen. At the same time, it's defending the pawn on d5, and probably in the next term, black is trying to play something like c6, defending both pawns, and this will lead to a relatively normal position. But here in this position, Magnus Carlsen played rook takes to b5, threatening rook takes b8, and because of the back rank, this will be a checkmate. So black has to do something. First of all, you cannot take on the d3 immediately because of the checkmate, as I have said. So after rook takes b5, here black played c6, defending the queen on b8. And here comes the tactical shot that probably Frenzient missed in this position. Here Magnus Carlsen played, can you guess it? Queen to f5. And this finished the game here. So now what happens here? After queen takes e5, there are a couple of options for black. Number one is to take on f5. And after taking on f5, as you can see, rook takes b8 is checkmate. So taking on f5 is not an option. What about rook to f8? Here, actually you can take on f4. And after rook takes f4, this will be a checkmate. And after queen to f5, if you take on b5, which seems to resolve the problem of the back rank, another problem will be left alone, and it is the hanging queen on f4. So queen takes f4, and white is simply a queen and exchange up, but this exchange is an exchange of queen against the rook. So white will be winning here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.